At Mental4Moto, our mission is to give the unsung heroes of Aussie motocross a voice. From grassroots racing right through to the biggest events in the country, sharing the stories you won't hear anywhere else. If you're interested in the advertising packages that we have available, or just want to show your support, please check out our website, www.mental4moto.com, and we can tailor a package to suit your needs. Now, let's get on with the show.
There were times I was lost, dark had fear, couldn't see through the rain. In the end it was clear, hit the fan. I was more than one man who was there to lend a hand. Together we'd stand, always at my back, my guardian soldier. Team pulled together, united we conquer. Blessed is he who in the name of charity carry me when I'm weak straight through the valley of darkness. Pitch blackness, the heartless, regardless, fear couldn't part us. Thick and thin, there by my side. At times we collide, but in the end we ride. Thick and thin, there by my side. At times we collide, but in the end we ride. We ride, ride.
Welcome back, Moto fans. This episode of the VJMX review show is brought to you by Dynacon Glass and Aluminium Windows. So thanks again to Timmy and Coop Danaher for getting behind us for another episode. If you'd like to help out by sponsoring the show, please shoot me a DM and I'll let you know what options we have available. If you like the show but you're not in a position to sponsor it, you can also make a donation via the website. And as always, a big thanks to our partners here at Mental4Moto: Fastline Suspension, Wolf Building Compliance, Southeast Pools, Iro Helmets, Ultimate Toy Haulers, and the June sponsor of the Mental4Moto Motocross and Supercross wall calendars, Thrill Therapy. And before we get started, I just want to give a shout out to Charlie McFarlane. He had a crash at the Horsham round of the Junior Vics. He's made some improvements, but he's still on the road to recovery. So we wish Charlie all the best. To break down everything from the round at Horsham, I have a Horsham local and my regular co-host for these episodes, Kenny Watts. Welcome back, mate.
Mate, absolute pleasure once again to be here. I love it. It's good fun.
It is, isn't it? So I feel like we've been on a big run of Vic's rounds lately, but we've got a little bit of a break until the next one now.
Yeah. So bit of a break in July, and then come back and hit out with the final round for the juniors.
Yeah.
Should be a ripper, that one.
So I think the final round of the juniors moves to Goulburn Valley 22nd, 23rd of August. How come there's such a big break in between?
I think it was just the calendar. Like, there's a lot of Promex national dates and things like that we're not allowed to use, and then there was Hatter and just availability of venues too. So actually, to be honest, GV gave us the option to be basically the last thing before they shut the venue down for the Aussie juniors. So yeah, it was a bit of a privilege to be given the opportunity to take our riders to GV and let them have a ride on the track before the Australian Junior Motocross Championships at the end of September. So cool for us, and we're grateful for the club. So we'll be giving them a bit of a run on their track and see if they're doing anything, and they can judge a little bit by that event too and see how it all goes.
It's pretty exciting. It's kind of worked out well, but I think for the Vics, that's going to be a massive round. I expect that we'll get, kids from everywhere and in between coming down to race that one.
Yeah. So we're looking at, giving our riders that have been competing in the Vics the opportunity to get their entries in nice and early, and don't sit back. If you're keen to finish the Vics in a strong way, don't sit back and wait for the week before. I don't want to see our riders miss out. So, and we're not going to close it off just for them either. So, yeah, it will be an interesting bit of time in the lead up to that event, I think.
So how does that work? Are you just going to limit it to 40 riders per class?
Yep. Yeah, the classes are capped at 40, just for the integrity of the event, like the scheduling and the timing and everything else. We won't be blowing it out to cater for 2 riders or 10 riders or 39, to be honest. When we hit the 40 mark, that's it. Our juniors in C grade have had to, some riders have missed out, and just, we'll give you the heads up when it's open, and don't sit back. If between entering and the event, the bike fails, the rider's injured, the sisters got engaged, and there's an engagement party that same weekend or something. The opportunity to withdraw is there a lot easier than the 10-day doctor's certificate. So don't get put off by that.
Yep.
That's just an Australian standard guidelines that's been put in place that we don't have a say in. But if the courtesy's done and you can't make it, and you do the right thing, you notify the race secretary and withdraw from the event, your refund will go back to you. So don't worry about that side of it. More worry about getting in there first as your priority, and then go from there.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be devoed to miss out, especially if you're in the championship as well. Speaking of race numbers, so we'll move on to Horsham because that's what this show is all about. 318 class entries, so another whopper of a round.
Yeah, the numbers were good, and the juniors has been a constant flow of entries. So occasionally you get a few extras sneak in here and there, but yeah, it's been pretty good, to be honest. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and surprisingly, we find that throughout these championships there's usually a bit of a drop-off, but I think it was pretty much, give or take a couple of riders, it was pretty much the same number of class entries from the previous round at Traralgon. So that's awesome too, and really shows the strength of the Junior Championship at the moment. Yeah,
the juniors is, supporting it in their droves, which is really good for us, and not only for us, but also for them. So they have a great event and good numbers and good quality opposition when they're out racing. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and once again, we saw a lot of interstate riders at Horsham as well, which is always cool, and it's sort of become part and parcel with the Victorian Junior Championship too.
Yeah, I think what we're doing is right, and just the grading mitigates some of the risk and everything else. So it's it works. So let's just keep doing what we're doing right.
Totally.
I think there might be a few changes going forward in other states that may see grading become a little bit more prominent. So yeah.
Especially at sort of state level rounds and those bigger series as well. I think it's definitely better. Yeah,
no, it works. Like we're not racing for the Australian Championship, obviously. So if we can put them into classes where it suits them and it works, and the riders have fun, and you don't want to see a smoky. Like you can have riders dominate a race, but you don't want them, be like having Jet Lawrence turn up and race a Vic title. It's going to be that would be embarrassing. We don't want that, so we make sure that we put the riders in the right class and have fun with it. So.
That's why you don't throw a leg over a bike. You don't want to get out there and dominate the A grade class. Is that right, Kenny?
Well, look, I've got two boys that raced A grade and raced nationals, and they didn't get any of the ability from me. Not one bit.
So Saturday morning, I think this is the fourth odd time I've been out to Horsham, and every time I've been out there in the morning, it's been cold, and the track's been a bit snotty, like a bit of soft stuff over a hard pack. I reckon the Saturday morning for this round of the Junior Vics was the best I've ever seen it. It was drier, it was loamy, it was tacky. There was a lot of traction. Was it that just a combination of the weather and the track prep, or was something done a little bit differently, or is that how it normally is and I just haven't seen it that way?
Well, yeah, you've come later in the year when it's a little bit more moisture in the ground, but yeah, we've had some good moisture in Horsham in the lead up to it, and the track was sealed for about 2 weeks, basically, I think, in the lead up to it. We had a club day about 3 weeks before, and then we had a coach come and had a ride for 2 days, and it pissed down rain on the Saturday afternoon and Sunday for them, so that sort of hampered it, and then we had to try and get on there and fix it. So
yeah,
the boys done a great job with the track. No complaints at all in the lead up to it, and then we went for the first practice, and there was a bit of a kicker in one of the jumps that nobody had noticed and nobody had commented on or anything. So out comes the Bobcat and had an attempt at fixing it, and the officials had a look at it, tried to get the A graders to go again, and they still weren't 100% happy with it. And Chris Dunn. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris Dunn come out and jumped on the bobby and had a play and got it tweaked, and yeah, it delayed the start a little bit, and then once we got that was it to get it all up and running. So thanks, Dunny, for jumping in and giving us a hand, and and then we started getting into it, and then unfortunately, the next thing was young Charlie's accident. So Saturday morning if anything was going to go wrong Saturday morning, it did for us, to be honest.
I wanted to ask you about that, Kenny. So it'd be sort of remiss of me not to mention it. I think the first 3 rounds of practice we had 4 red flags or 4 medic flags on 3 different areas of the track. And like I said, the track to me looked as good as I've ever seen it in the morning. And maybe that was part of the problem. But were these just like separate, isolated incidents and it was just a run of bad luck, or was there a reason for it? Like, do you think there was a reason for it?
Well, I didn't know there was that many medic flags. I knew we red flagged the A grade practice twice. And we red flagged the C grade 250s too when Charlie had his accident, but that was nearly at the end of the practice session that happened anyway. But just
track was too good. Maybe they were going out too hard. Normally it's pretty muddy and a bit challenging in the mornings.
Yeah, so it was. I think it was prepped good. It was just that jump caught us out unaware that we didn't realise there was a bit of a kicker in it, and that once that was fixed, that side of the track was all good, and then Charlie's accident was just one of the unluckiest accidents you could imagine. Just 2 riders just clipped handlebars or sort of clipped handlebars in that area anyway. And, unfortunately, we were...
Came down the wrong way and,
come down and hit his head hard. So he was... there was a lot of concern about Charlie, to be honest, and we had the best people there looking after him, and then we not just one ambulance, but actually 3 turned up to come out, and 2 paramedics in their Mica vehicles, and then we had the police come out, and it was a scary time there for all involved.
Yeah, very somber atmosphere for sure.
Yeah, it was not. Once we got the A graders up and running, the C grade was going through all good until that moment. So that sort of put a dampener on all the proceedings until about dinner time. I reckon on Saturday. It was not a good thing for anyone to witness and be there and see that happening. So.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a testament to the response as well. Like, I think the response was really, really good, and he got the help he needed as quickly as he could, and it was good help and a good response. So, like I said, it's great to hear that there's been some improvement, and he's probably got a fair road to recovery, but he's on the road to recovery, which is always great news, especially after something where it feels like touch and go.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I've spoken to Sean, Dad, and he's just overwhelmed by the support that Charlie's receiving from our family, like the motocross family as a wide group. Everybody's, been fully supportive of Charlie and help anywhere they can. They've been offering to help out Sean, so the family's been really grateful for the support, and Charlie's even done a little bit of a spill to his dad and that about how grateful he is for the support that everyone's given him. So,
it's good to hear. All right, well, let's move on to the racing. We ended up cutting it short to 2 rounds, which I think was a good way to go rather than shortening motos and trying to keep all 3 races in, because we still ended up with, good full-length races and getting through, and obviously everything counts towards the championship. So standout riders. So at this round, we had 9 riders that went 1-1. So I feel like last year riders that had a perfect day were few and far between. And this year, maybe it's because we've started mentioning it. There just seems to be riders that are taking the day by the horns and just having the perfect day. And I mean, some of these riders are the same ones that we mention in each podcast, but there's a few new names in here as well, which is always cool. So I think it means there's a bit of diversity in those classes, which is excellent. But to kick things off, I started off last time with the 50cc, so we'll start at the opposite end of the spectrum this time, and we'll start off with the big boys. It's a name that just keeps popping up at the senior rounds, at the junior rounds. Job Dunn, 250 A grade. I mean, what can you say about this guy that we haven't already said before?
Yeah, no, he's really put it on. He's putting the effort in and everything else, and it just shows every time he comes out. It's his best foot put forward all the time. So
yeah,
good to watch. Yeah, he's
very much so.
Pretty quiet.
Yeah,
doesn't like interviews or anything. He's pretty quiet. I try to get him to have a yak, but he's pretty quiet.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't talk himself up or anything. He just gets out there and lets his riding do the talking.
Yes.
In this same class, before we move on, I wanted to give a mention as well. Noah James, 2-2, and Nate Short, 3-3 on the day. So I believe that's Nate Short's first podium on the 250A grade as well. So, well done to those two boys, because that's a pretty competitive class. And, Noah's come back this year after a big injury last year. So it's great to see him back on the box, and Nate Short as well. Yeah,
100%. And I enjoy watching interstate riders come and race their state titles, but it was good seeing 3 Vic kids up the front. So
yeah, they held off Dylan Gromble. I think he was fourth on the day on his Stark.
Yeah, young Declan Smart, a couple of boys from South Australia that seemed to turn it on pretty good. So
yeah, Joby Beveridge, 250 C grade, perfect day, but it didn't come easy. He had some absolutely cracking battles with Thomas White, who ended up going 2-2, just missed out. I think he was real stoked with coming second both races, but testament to Joby, like both boys rode well. It was great watching them battle, and I don't think you can take anything away from either of them.
Nah, both rode really good. Yeah, Joby's, you've given him the award and he hasn't looked back, has he?
I don't think he's lost a race since
then. You should have done that earlier for him. So
yeah. Now, from the start of the year, when I watched him at the early rounds of the Gippies to now, like, he's definitely a rider that's improved. I know he's training out with Matho and like Cade Bean and Connor Gillett, like a few of those fast boys, and Thomas White's out there as well. They train together. They're good mates off the bike. So they're starting to get a really good crew out there. Billy Rickus as well, he's out there. So they've got some fast riders, and I think it's paying off. Yeah,
more bike time and everything else, and riding around with good riders is going to help. But Matho's a good coach, and I made an error the other week when I mentioned he'd done road racing. It was actually motard, so he still had the motocross bike with the
road tyres.
Road tyres on it, so I was close.
Yeah. No, it's it's another skill set, but I think you find a lot of these guys that are good on two wheels can probably ride most types of motorcycles pretty well.
Yeah, and I don't mind sitting back and watching these boys doing that. They're good to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, 85 big wheel A grade, rider tricky. So not only was that a standout performance for me, but I think, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, this was also one of the classes of the round for me to watch. But I don't know, was that sort of a breakout ride for rider tricky, because there's some big names in that class.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think that's the first time his bike hasn't caused him to have bike failures. So he's actually been able to put his talent out in the front and let his riding answer to critics. Previously it's been bike failures, so it's not good for him, but he's he had a great day that day.
Oh, definitely. And like I said, we'll talk a little bit more about that class a bit later. Willie Orders, continuing his winning run on the 85 big wheel in B grade. He went 1-1 on the day. I mean, he's ready for A grade. Obviously, he's going to have to wait till grading happens later in the year, but he's riding awesome, and it's great to see him just continuing his form.
Yeah, so Willie got injured last year, and that really hampered his season. So he come out like a house on fire when he went onto the big wheel, and just injury after injury last year. It was a terrible season for him, and that's hampered him. He probably should have been in A grade last year.
Yeah, for sure. But that injury was huge. He came to
100%. And then being off the bike for a long time too. He's got the ability, but if you chucked him up, it wouldn't have given him that confidence. So this is, it's an extra year on his path to where he wants to go, but it's still working for him, so it's cool.
Most definitely. Ryan Fatur, 85 big wheel C grade, went 1-1. He's another rider that seems to be on the improve every time we see him. He's always got good style. And in the Junior 250, you also see him battling with his older brother. So maybe that's where he's finding his extra pace. But he's looking really good on that 85 big wheel.
Yeah, the 150 Honda just stands out there, Pete. So we make sure that
I knew you'd correct me on that. I was waiting for it.
Got to do it. It's the only one, and he's winning everything. Like you're thinking that some of these parents should be thinking, we should be joining this club instead of racing against him.
They're fantastic bikes. I mean, I would love to see more of them out there. I've always thought they were a good bike, and I guess, I mean, the only reason I can see why they haven't caught on more, it would be a cost. I mean, he's proving that they're as good as the 85s, maybe better. Yeah,
I don't think the cost is an issue. It's just keep the air cleaner clean and you'll be good to go. And the valves are good as gold. But great bikes. Just people look at it and go that there's been no real updates to them since 2009. But let's just be mindful that an RM 450 won the World Supercross in America, didn't it?
And I mean, it's a Honda, so you can't improve on perfection, isn't that right?
I love you, Pete. That's the way to do it.
All right. We just need to find a Honda sponsor now to, I'll keep that coming. I'll keep that coming all day. All right.
I'll have a talk to your roof.
Zach Peters, 65 A grade. What a little weapon.
Yes. Yeah. He really gels with that 65. And that was his first time to Horsham too. So actually a lot of the riders was their first time to Horsham too. So
yeah. So he had a perfect day over Ollie Threadgold, who is doing well on the 65 as well. You know, he stepped up from the 50 last year as the dominant bike, and Miles Ardern in third as well.
Yep. Yeah, young Threadgold, they're trekking around a little bit. He was up in Queensland a bit racing too. So yeah, they're having a look around, and I think he's on the Yamaha, being supported by Yamaha, so that's pretty cool for him. But yeah,
no, for sure.
Young Zach Peters, had it over him all day, so that worked out well for him.
Yeah, where's Zach from? He's New South Wales?
New South Wales.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whereabouts, but I did talk to the dad about it, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it was somewhere near Canberra. In that area, I think.
Yeah, so it's great to see them.
Well, I'll just say he's from Canberra, so we'll just go with that.
Yeah, it's great to see him making the trek down, and it's definitely paying off for him against some really stiff competition, which is cool.
Yes, yeah, and we'll keep bringing him back again, so that sounds good.
Yep, 85 small wheel A grade Lucas Poole continues his winning run with a perfect day, funnily enough, over Zach Peters in second. And that's something we don't see too much is when, a rider is, I guess, that close to the front in two different classes.
Yeah, not at that age group.
Yep.
Not in that age group. So, when you get into the big wheel and 125 and 250, it's more prominent to see, but not to see a dominating A grade 65 rider also be right up there on the 85 small wheel.
Yeah.
Although a little bit bigger, they seem to be the kid that's a little bit bigger seems to have that little bit of ability to throw it around a bit more on the 85. But he's proved me wrong at that one.
85 small wheel C grade. So this kid was a bit of a standout on the weekend as well. Harley Woods.
Yeah, good little rider, and he also got injured late last year and went down for a bit, and now he's just starting to come back and get that confidence again. So it's good to watch.
He took out that class with a perfect day over Archie McAllister, Xavier Brown in third. So good to see Xav Dog back up there. And
Brown boy.
Yep. And Archer Smith. So I mean, Archer he's been riding fantastic on the 65. That was definitely a bit of a breakout ride in a pretty full class on the 85.
Yeah, and again, on a cow, he stands out.
Yes.
Is that the cow is a nice small bike for him, because he's only a midget. And it suits him.
Yep. Pocket rocket.
Yeah, that's right. He looks good out there on that bike. And like, to be honest, he's ridden Horsham a lot too, so that was a track that he was comfortable riding on. So, the bigger bike and whatever else. So, yeah, just go into a comfort zone, I think, helped him. That was good.
Well, I know they've always sort of treated the 85 as the second bike, sort of just to get a bit of experience and sort of get him ready for the next few years of racing. But I wonder if the confidence that he sort of gained from this round will start to carry over and we see him sort of closer to the pointy end at the future rounds now.
No, I hope so. He's a good kid and speaks well too. So
yeah. So
get him up at the podium. That's cool.
Well, we've got him on for an interview, which we'll play at the end of this episode as well. So yeah,
sweet. That's cool.
And the final one that had a perfect day at Horsham. Now, this kid came over from South Australia, and I feel like every once in a while we just see, we see a rider that just looks unreal, and it's easy to say that when they're on a 50cc, and often they don't end up finding that success when they step up. But this kid just looked unbelievable. Hudson Chadburn on the 50cc Div 2 was absolutely flying at Horsham.
Yes. So the thing about that is a lot of these riders that in the pointy end of it hadn't ridden Horsham, so there was no real home track advantage for a lot of them. Like young Jones Haig I think he had a few bike issues, but DeGrudy and that had never been to Horsham before, so that was all of them on a fresh track. So
yep. Yeah, but he's pretty big on that 50cc, but he definitely knows how to ride it. So that was cool to see. Just one more rider, which stood out to me on the weekend. Had a great weekend. Wasn't quite perfect. He went 2-1-1, and that was Chase Rodder in 125 C grade. Good weekend for Chase. Don't know too much about him, but took it out over Harrison Goica and Joby Beveridge. So yeah. Good weekend for Chase. What can you tell me about him?
Well, I could tell you a lot, but I'd be lying because I actually don't know him.
Yep.
Yeah, I know Harrison Goica, and he's starting to put it together too, the young fella. But yeah, Chase Rodder, he rode really good.
Yeah, he did, definitely. So, we'll have to find out a little bit more about him before the next one.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's just going to have another great ride, so we can bring him up again.
Yeah, no, I don't mind if he does that. So.
All right, so we'll move on to some standout classes. Okay, I mentioned it earlier, but the first class I wanted to talk about was 85 Big Wheel A grade, which, of course, Ryder Tricky took out. But I just felt like this class is so deep, and there was definitely some mixing up of results, and it was just some fantastic racing. We had Ryder Tricky, Nate Hargraves, Lewis Carafa in third on the day, Brax Chiddleborough, Kobe Binion, Riley Mullen, Joby Birch. The names just go on and on. This was a very, very cool class to watch.
Yeah, 100%. And, and unfortunately, we lost number 17 in that class too
We
on
did.
race 2 on that Saturday, which, yeah, that was Devo for me. He was right up there with Tricky. Them two were a step ahead of everyone else.
Yep.
They were pushing it, and unfortunately, it caught him out, and he went down, which is motorbike racing. But he'll be back, and hopefully we get him all good, and
Yeah.
he's back for the final round.
Yeah, Connor Gillett, he's a friend of Mental4Moto. He's one of the riders that I've worked with for the last few years. Lovely, lovely kid. And, unfortunately, he went ejectocito over the Triple T.
Yeah, Triple T. Truck drivers and a tattooist made it, so that's the triple part of it. It's not a triple jump, it's just what we call it. But
Yeah.
it has a few people going, "Yeah, you can't have a triple out there." Yeah.
No,
Well, it's just
I caught up with Connor out at Bairnsdale for the Gippy. He was getting around in his wheelchair. He was in good spirits, but I'm sure the novelty will be wearing off by about now. And for most of these
poor
kids,
bugger.
they like to be out and being active, and being in a wheelchair just sometimes doesn't cut the mustard.
No. It's friends when you see kids going down and getting hurt, and it's not. That's the part of the sport I hate. So
both legs. Oh, no.
yeah.
So, but I mean, it was one of those crashes. He stepped through the bars. He went feet first. I saw it happen, and I wouldn't have been surprised if he had got up and walked out of it. Obviously, that's not the way it went, but it was just, I think, one of those unlucky type of crashes where you just, you land the wrong way and things happen. So, we wish him a speedy recovery as well, though, of course, and hopefully he'll be out there again. I think he's pretty keen to be out there for the final round in VJMX when I spoke to him. So, I'm sure he'll be back long before then, and that's one of the benefits of the break.
Yeah. Yeah, it works out all right. So, I was just talking to his family, and no plaster required at this stage, which is good. So, just hopefully we see him back sooner than later.
Yeah, well, he's got moon boots, one from his ankle up over his knee, and the other one is just the lower part of the leg. But apparently that's the worst knee. So. He's still not very mobile. Might not be plastered, but he's not going. He's not running anywhere in a hurry.
Yeah, no, that's not good.
We hope you're enjoying the show. Here at Mental4Moto, we can only do what we do because of the sponsors who support us. So please stay tuned for a couple of brief ads and make sure you show these legends some love.
Are you getting arm pump, fatiguing after just a few laps, or feel like you're often fighting against your bike? Today's motorcycles have been designed and built to suit a broad range of riders, conditions, and riding styles. This one-size-fits-all approach, however, means that when it comes to your own riding, your bike is often not handling and performing at its very best. Whether you're a weekend warrior or an elite-level racer, Fastline Suspension will help you unlock your riding potential by ensuring your bike is set up perfectly for your specific needs. And with the right setup, you're guaranteed to go faster, fatigue less, and ultimately have more fun riding your motorcycle. So what are you waiting for? Contact Adam at Fastline Suspension now. Fastline Suspension, set up for maximum performance, precision tuned for you.
There's nothing more refreshing after a day at the track when you're sweaty, grimy and exhausted than taking a dip in the pool. Southeast Pools specialise in building high-quality fiberglass and concrete swimming pools across the Peninsula and Gippsland region and offer a range of designs to suit every lifestyle, yard size and budget. So pick up that phone, give Trav at Southeast Pools a call today and be ready to take the plunge this summer.
Hero helmets have won over 125 motorcycling world titles with world-renowned superstars including Antonio Cairoli, Jeffrey Hurlings, Martin Muscan, even Jason Anderson. From the world stage right down to the grassroots motocross scene, Arrow is the title sponsor of the Gippsland Motocross Championships and even supports up-and-coming local legends such as Memphis Stravina and Zan McIntosh. As one of the lightest and safest helmets on the market, when it comes to protecting my most important asset, I choose Arrow as well. To check out the range of Arrow helmets, head into your local dealer today or click the link below to visit the website.
At Mental4Moto, Our mission is to give the unsung heroes of Aussie motocross a voice. From grassroots racing right through to the biggest events in the country, sharing the stories you won't hear anywhere else. From the privateer chasing the dream, to the junior rider who's pushing for their first win, the mechanic who works late into the night to get the bike ready for race day, to the track builder who turns a pile of dirt into a work of art. This is the beating heart of our sport. We're able to bring these stories every week to thousands of Aussie Moto fans thanks to the generous sponsors who share our vision. If you're interested in the advertising packages that we have available, or just want to show your support, please check out our website, www.mental4moto.com, and we can tailor a package to suit your needs. Now, let's get on with the show.
All right, the next class, 65 B grade. They're riders that we talk about a fair bit, but great racing, and they really, really mixed it up. Mitch McConaughey and River Taylor, continuing their form, but Attila Manson, Isaiah Filipovic had a great weekend, and these same kids, so I guess you could probably throw them together. Also battled it out with Brooklyn Boyd in 85 small wheel B as well. But this 65B and 85 small wheel B class, definitely always entertaining to watch.
No, they are really good, and that's, I think Mitchell's size is his advantage on a 65, and that's where he seems to really suit. It's the 65 suits his size. He just hangs off the back of it. He's good to watch.
Yes,
and actually they're all good. So one mention here is young Hudson Chadbourne, the kid that dominated the 50s. He also finished fourth in B grade on a 65, which you don't see a lot of 50 riders up in B grade. So
no,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, especially he's got some pretty big names behind him as well. Kids that race this class and probably are in their second year in this class. So that's pretty cool for Hudson.
Yeah. So that worked out all right, and they only had 2 races to get it together too on the Saturday, unfortunately. So
one rider I did want to mention in this class after a standout at Traralgon, didn't have a great weekend, was Travis Poole. So unfortunately the voucher magic didn't work as well this time around.
Yeah, that's no good, is it?
No, worked for Joby, didn't work for Trav this time. So hopefully he can bounce back and have a great weekend at Goulburn Valley for the last one.
The reason why Trav had a bad weekend is he had bike issues. So he ended up having to race his brother's bike.
Yes.
So that's so bike issues can really make or break your day for you. So unfortunately, that's, you chuck that down as a few bike issues on that day. So
Yep. Troy, Dad, lift your game.
Yeah.
So, maybe hand over the mechanicking to someone else. But no, it's jokes aside, and it's a shame when someone who's done really, really well then or is in contention for the championship even, when bike issues influence the outcome. It's always a bit of a bummer to see.
I've got a feeling that the bike was rebuilt just before it and had issues. Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse. The next class that I wanted to talk about, 65 C grade. Again, an absolutely chock-a-block class, 40 bikes on the gate. But this was a ripper of a class. Archer Smith came through and took out the win in this one over Archie McAllister, Harley Woods, and little Xavier Honolulu in fourth as well. He's another little pocket rocket.
Yeah, there's not much of these. To be honest, Woodsy's probably the biggest of all them.
Yep.
And Xavier Honolulu, Archer Smith, Archie McAllister, they're only tiny. So not a lot of them.
Great class. It's so good to see so many riders on the gate. And one of the things I love about this class is that it's a mix of the older kids and those Div 2 kids that are having a crack on the bigger bike as well. So, it's always good to see.
Yeah, and again, 40 riders competing in that. So you make a bad start, you're not just going past 4 riders to get into second. You're actually, you pass 4 riders, you're still in 36th place. So you've got to have a good start in this because, there's no room for error.
Yep. No, there's definitely not. There is definitely
Mm.
not. All right, the junior girls class. So 7 on the gate. Not a bad number. We'd obviously love to see a few more. But Miller Kroll and Keely Scott swapping wins. So, that was pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah, Miller from Tassie and Keely, well, she's from Victoria, but holidays in Darwin. And, them two were going for it. And a little bit of a surprise pack at our third place, right? Lily Guthrie, which is good to see Lily sneak up there. She tied on a count back to Oakley Herbman.
Yep. Yeah, and of course Oakley's riding unreal as well because she's definitely at the younger end of this age group as well.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it was good to watch the girls out there racing. So,
no, for sure. And finally, 125A grade, Kenny. It's like you read my mind.
I did. I was thinking that's probably a class we haven't mentioned yet. So
yes. So, I mean, this was a class that had battles that were absolutely all-time. Riley Delaney, I mean, he was riding at Traralgon with an injury. And, I don't know, did he step it up at Horsham, do you think?
Oh, yeah, just come out and I don't know what the overall results were for 69 points. What's that? 2 seconds and a win, I suppose.
Yeah, he went 1-2-2.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he seems to really excel on the 125.
Yeah, and another rider that definitely stepped up for this round was Jacob Brewer. He took out one of the 3 motos as well, but he was riding absolutely unbelievably. So, love seeing the number 72 up there battling with these boys. And a rider that's just stepped up. A rider that's just stepped up to the 125 this year, Lewis J. Carafa.
Yeah, that was so cool. So Sunday, for the people at home that are looking at lap times and things like that, so Saturday afternoon when we finished racing, we went to start prepping the track for Sunday and the gods opened up to the point that it was to manage and do the best we could with what we had. It was like putting Play-Doh in a bucket and trying to make something out of it was no good. So the track was wet as a shag Saturday night from the rain.
It poured.
Yeah. It poured down, yeah. And so we got out there and done the best we could. And it ended up being, the parents and that walked the track on Sunday morning and you go, are you serious? This is what you're giving us? Like, to be honest, I was like devoed with not how they questioned it. It's the fact I was devoted that that's what we did present. But we presented them a racetrack and they went out there and at the end of it, there was smiles from ear to ear. They loved how it ended up. It was, there was no tilling, no nothing. It was actually rolling the track down to try and get rid of the ruts and everything else from Saturday's racing and basically give them a clean slate, but it was not a pretty clean slate, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, definitely not what we wanted as a club to present, but the racing ended up being amazing on Sunday. But for everything, it was so good.
To be fair, Kenny, I spoke to a few of the racers on Sunday morning and they weren't stoked at the way the track was presented before the racing began. But the track was soft. So we had a heap of rain. It got rolled in. It was always going to form up ruts with how soft it was. It was tacky. Like you could see the actual knobby marks through the ground. And to be honest, like this, and I've griped about it before, this penchant for ripping tracks deep and tilling them up. And I think especially through a Victorian winter, I think sometimes it's overkill. And we saw on that day, it didn't look great. It didn't look like a normally presented track on Sunday morning, but it formed up fantastic and it made for amazing racing. And I think that it's just because we're not used to seeing that on a racetrack first thing in the morning.
Yeah. Like we went out there and started, and then there was that much moisture in the ground in the first place that you could. Our aim was to just lightly go over it and just get rid of the imperfections of the ruts and everything else.
Lumps and bumps, yeah.
It couldn't do anything with it. It just got terrible. So yeah, I reckon I rolled for 2 hours just doing corners.
Yeah.
So I missed going out for tea with yous on Saturday night, and I heard the steak was so nice.
Stop it.
What'd you have for tea, Pete?
Not steak. I usually get steak, and Nikki rubbed it in bad because her steak looked amazing. So I should have got steak.
They went out for tea.
Yeah,
you usually do. So I missed out on going out for tea with yous, but I stayed there and we done best we could with what we were dealt with, and then Sunday morning, it didn't look pretty. Well, it did look okay, but it's just not what you expected for first thing for a race day. And then, I have had some feedback from some people that spoke to me on Sunday morning, questioning it, have come back and have said that ended up an awesome track on Sunday. So that was, in the end of it, we had a terrible weekend at Horsham, like for the club with the injuries and then things like that. And then the rain coming, and it just, nothing we done worked. Like we had the boys
like you had
cleaning
planned.
the start gate.
Yep.
The boys were cleaning the start gates, and they must have just slightly bumped them with the loader or the bobcat, and it actually had them jamming in on the hinges. So the gate drop for the A-grade 250s, the gates dropped, and we actually broke 5 gates, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had, I think 5 gates were broken because as they were dropping, it was jamming. So, 5 gates were broken. We moved those riders over a little bit and restarted it. And then the boys, and, I'm so grateful for the boys down on the start line, Justin DeFito and Ryan Milgate and Tony Cosford. They pulled out the angle grinder, the welder, and within 15 minutes of the A-grades finishing, they were ready for C-grade, and the gates were back in and working perfectly. So,
mate, what would you do if you didn't have people that were that handy with a welder, like on the day? That could have ruined the whole day. So,
so
thanks to those boys for... the
club had already had a welder, and we've got power at the start gates already. So that side of it was there for that worst case scenario. And to be honest, everything that was worst case scenario happened for us on the weekend. So, but the boys, the boys running the start gates all weekend, done a great job. And then when it was time to put their expertise into play, and like with Justin's a welder, and Ryan Milgate's, he's the president of the VFF. He saw everything to make sure that it all worked well. And Tony's from New Zealand, so he had 2 eyes looking one way and 2 heads looking the other because he's got 2 heads, and it was all good.
No, fantastic. Well, I'm stoked that you got that sorted out. So that was just one less thing to worry about for the weekend.
It was a tough weekend for the club, and to be honest, it's a small club too. So we've run some major events, but at the moment, the membership base is down and the volunteer base is down, and we're just pushing our way through and hoping that we can get that interest in our club and get it back to where it should be.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, yes, there was some pretty big sort of issues that weekend that you guys had to deal with in terms of the accidents and the track stuff and, the rain. But I think overall it was a fantastic weekend of racing. It was a successful weekend of racing in the big picture of things. So, hopefully you get that support and you get a few more volunteers and you get that membership base back.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, just work our way through this little lull that we've got going on in the Wimmera at the moment for motorbike racing, and yeah, you'll be right.
Yeah, I think that's it's across the board at the moment, though. I think a lot of clubs are experiencing that just with the economic climate and the way everything is at the moment. So get out there and support your local clubs, even if it isn't Horsham. Get out there and support your local clubs because
that's right, 100%.
If we don't do
sit
it,
back and be a watcher. Get involved and watch from the trackside. Get your backside trackside and help out. That's where we need you.
All right. Well, it's time to announce the voucher recipient for round 3 at Horsham. And this was really, really difficult. There's probably half a dozen kids that I could have given this to. And in some classes, it was maybe 3 standout riders that swapped wins. So it would have been really hard to give it to one of them. So in the end, I've come up with a rider, and again, like I said, it was a standout performance for me. I think it was a bit of a breakout ride, and I didn't realise there'd been a bit of bad luck at other rounds that had contributed to not sort of having the same sort of results as we saw at Horsham. So the winner of the $200 Peter Stevens voucher, courtesy of Mental4Moto for this round, is Rider Tricky.
Wow, cool. That's awesome. So well done, right?
Yep. So Rider, I'll have that ready for you to pick up at the next round at Goulburn Valley. So yeah, a little way away, but it'll be there unless I see you before that.
Well, imagine if we invested it. What's the interest rate? So you could get it to $200.05 in that next 8 weeks or something.
So, yep. And if the value of the dollar keeps going the same way, it'll be worth about $5 by then. So, no.
Yeah. So you'll go into that. Go online and use your voucher and get a $50 pair of gloves or something.
So, let's hope not.
No, be positive. It's good. Yeah. Congratulations. He did ride really good. That was the best I've seen him ride that 85 for a long time. So,
very cool. All right. Was there anything else that you wanted to mention or anyone else that stood out for you, Kenny?
Probably it's not really a standout, but young Miller Crow, she brought a spare bike over and they loaned that to Jacob Brewer to race on the Saturday, which is pretty cool. That could have left her without a bike herself, but she loaned her bike to Jacob so he could race it on Saturday. So, yeah, the Tassie kids doing it good. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Was that where Jacob Brewer was trying to cover up the pink parts of the bike?
Yep. Yeah. And he rode it okay too, so
he did.
That was pretty cool. Jacob Brewer had a good weekend. Just had bike issues, and then luckily for them, Miller's family gave them the spare bike that they had there, and luckily she had a great weekend and didn't need to use it herself, so that's good.
No, definitely. No, and she did have a great weekend, and I love seeing that. Like, I don't know, when you start sort of getting to that pointy edge of the sport in a competitive sense, like this is a state title, and I know, those two aren't racing against each other, but sometimes we still see that happen when riders are in the same class. It's cool seeing, riders recognising the challenge when someone else has a mechanical issue and lending them a bike. I think that's a big deal, and it's often gets overlooked. So, I love seeing that sort of stuff in our sport.
Yeah, so look, I'd hate to win something by default by having the poor opposition rider not riding a Honda. So if I had a spare one, I'd give them a Honda to let them race with me against. So
lay it on thick, Kenny. Lay it on thick.
The kids love it. So
yeah. All right. We were going to do some trackside interviews at Horsham on the Saturday night and on the Sunday night. Unfortunately, Saturday night, as you already mentioned, Kenny, the sky opened up, and on the Sunday, it was a ghost town. By the time I got off the track, and I was like, I'm going to hunt a couple riders down to do interviews, there was nobody around, so we're just going to do a couple over the phone for this round. But For future rounds, if you'd like to do a trackside interview over the weekend, because that's how we will be doing it, make sure you shoot me a DM or better yet, just come see me on the day over the weekend and we'll tee it up.
Yeah, do that. Why wouldn't you? Best chance to say thanks to mum and dad and thank your sponsors and answer some riveting questions from Woofy about how your day went and just put yourself out there.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
And for the riders that are a little bit nervous, the interviews will still get edited and cleaned up. So if you fudge it up, it doesn't matter. We can re-record that little bit on the day and just cut out any bits that don't make you sound cool.
Yeah, unlike ours, we don't have any editing done on ours, so Woofy will tidy that up for you.
That's right. We are just professional public speakers, isn't that right, Kenny?
That's 100% right.
All right. Let's move on. On that note, Kenny, thank you so much. Thanks for calling in. We'll listen to some interviews that we've caught up with some riders. And, I'll catch up with you at Goulburn Valley.
Too easy, buddy. All right. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Kenny. All right, our first rider guest to catch up with after the Horsham round is Archer Smith. Welcome to the podcast, Archer.
No, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on. So we'll start off. Your nickname is Pocket Rocket. Where did that come from?
It's because at my old place where I used to ride, I was really small and I was one of the quickest there, so I got a nickname Pocket Rocket.
Oh, that makes sense. So whereabouts are you from and how old are you, Archer?
I'm from Ballarat in Victoria and I'm 10 years old.
Oh, awesome. So do you race the Westerns as well?
No, I don't race Westerns.
Oh, which series do you race?
I race SA titles and Victorian titles.
Oh, fantastic. You're straight into the big stuff. Yep. So we had the last round at Horsham. How did you find that?
Yeah, it was really good. Had a good round and all that.
On the Saturday, you raced the 65, which is, I think, your sort of main class. Tell me a little bit about your races on the 65. We only had the 2 rounds on the Saturday.
Yeah, my races were really good. I got first in the first moto, and then I got second in the second.
Yeah. And how did you find the track on the Saturday? Because I think that's probably the best Horsham that I've seen on the Saturday. It wasn't too wet, it wasn't too slippery, but how did you find the track?
Oh, the track was really mint. It was so tacky, just fast too.
Yeah, is that the sort of track that you like a clay track?
Yeah.
Yeah, and have you raced at Horsham a few times?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, that's very cool. And what bike are you racing on the 65?
Oh, Cobra.
Yeah, you're on a Cobra? I was wondering, I had to go back and look at the photos because, it doesn't sort of look like the 65s that I see all around. You don't see too many Cobra 65s. How long have you been on the Cobra for?
Maybe 3 years.
Yeah, and do you like it?
So much fun.
Yeah, what do you like about the racing the Cobra?
They're just like the right height for me and the thickness of it, and they're just so much fun.
They're pretty fast too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to the Sunday, you raced the 85, and I feel like it was a bit of a breakout ride for you on the 85. It's a big bike, and you're still fairly small. But tell me about your races on the Sunday on the 85.
Yeah, I actually rode really good on the Sunday. I missed out in third by 2 points, but that happens.
Yep. And how did you find the track on Sunday? It was a little bit different. We got a bit of rain overnight and they rolled it in. So the track was pretty different to Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't go out for practice because it was just too wet. And then race 1, Dad didn't even want me to go out.
So did you have to talk him into it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And are you glad that you went out at the end of the day?
Definitely.
Yeah. So do you have some races that you sort of have as a bit of a rivalry in your classes?
No, not really.
No? You're always racing with different people?
Yeah.
Yeah. So out of the 65 and the 85, which is your favourite bike?
65 because it's just like the right height for me.
Yep. But now that you've had some success on the 85, do you think you're going to get pretty keen on the 85 as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So looking back at the championship, you had a ripper round at Colac as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I was so sick at Colac too. I just got cold before it and then it went away and it sort of came back and the second time was way worse.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Mm.
Yeah. So what is it about the Colac track that worked for you? Because, you had a cracking ride there. And unfortunately, I didn't mention you on the podcast. I probably should have after the Colac round.
At Colac, I just tried to keep it on 2 wheels mainly.
Yeah? Was it pretty rough out there, was it?
Yeah, it was really rough and just hard to ride, especially when you're sick.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You might have been sick, but I think you finished, with second overall? I think you got 3.52 in your motos.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good even when you're not sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we went to Traralgon, which, you had a bit of a rougher day there. Were you sick again at Traralgon?
No. I had good lap times and all that, but I just crashed the first 2 motos first lap.
Yeah.
So I got like 11th and 10th, which didn't do me much.
Yeah, that makes it a really, really hard day and hard to get good results, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So of the 3 rounds we've had so far, which has been your favourite track?
Horsham.
Horsham? And why is that?
It was just definitely the best, had the best base to it and it was just like the best dirt that came with it.
Yeah, and it's got some big jumps too. Do you like the jumps?
Yeah, the jumps are sick.
And I believe you go over to South Australia and race the SA titles over there too. How did that come about?
Well, last year I went over there for their state titles and got 3rd, so I asked Dave if we could do them again.
Yep.
Mm.
What do you like about racing over there? Is it similar to the Vic titles or is it a bit different?
Or it's a little bit different, but they've got some pretty fun tracks and yeah.
So what tracks have you raced over there? I've been to Murray Bridge and Gilman. They're the only 2 South Australian tracks I've been to. Which ones have you raced at over there?
I've raced Robe, Murray Bridge, Gilman, Renmark.
Ah, and are they all sort of sandy? Because the ones I've been to are pretty loamy or sandy.
Yeah, they've all got a touch of sand to them.
Yeah. And do you like those tracks over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you actually get into motocross?
Well, my sister had a PW50 and I just jumped on that for it once with Dad and just loved it.
Yeah. And your dad races a bit as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that how come he got you into the motorbikes and your sister?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And do you get to ride a little bit with your dad?
I mean, he doesn't really ride much anymore.
No. Are you faster than him?
Well, we compared lap times from Horsham and so far.
That's unreal. So what are your goals and ambitions in the sport? Do you want to keep racing and eventually make it to the pro ranks?
Yeah, I want to keep on racing and try and go pro.
Oh, that'd be very cool. Do you have a pro rider or even someone at the Vics that you look up to?
Does it have to be at the Vics?
Oh, it could be anywhere.
Jet
Lawrence. Did you watch him on the weekend?
No, we didn't get time to. We seen the highlights though.
Yeah, he's riding pretty good. I think even with his injured foot, he's better, still better than everyone, and he's not at 100%. Yeah. So what do you like about Jet's riding?
He's just super flowy and his technique's really good.
I think he's probably, in my opinion, the best rider that, maybe the best motocross rider ever.
He is smooth.
Yeah, I think he's pretty cool and he's a good role model too. So we've got our next round at Goulburn Valley. Have you raced out there before?
Oh, yeah, I did this. I raced there last year for Vicks.
Yeah, and how did you find it? I think we had, was that the one we had heaps of rain?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty messy out there, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Do you like riding in the mud?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, but it's just hard.
Yeah, lots of bike cleaning afterwards. Who does the bike cleaning, you or your dad?
We sort of both do it.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. And are you going to go out and race the AJMX later in the year as well at Goulburn Valley?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do that last year at Gilman?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you go out there?
Not the best.
No. Did you have fun though?
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool event. That was the first time I've been to AJMX, and I was surprised at how big it was. Like as an event, I think it's bigger than the Pro MX.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before I let you go, Archer, do you have any sponsors or anyone that you'd like to thank?
I'd just like to thank Cobra, Splitfire Spark Plugs, Power Plus Racing Fuels, the Underclass Clothing and Apparel, Race Ready Suspension, SP Tools, King's Cars, Moto Kit, and my dad for doing my bike maintenance.
Wow, you've got a lot of people in your corner. And I like the fact you mentioned the underclass because I really like their gear. I think it stands out and it makes for awesome photos and videos too, don't you reckon?
Yeah, they're pretty sick.
It is very, very sick. Well, thank you for having a chat, mate. I've really enjoyed it.
No, thank you for having me again.
No, my pleasure. All right, the next rider we're going to learn a little bit about is Noah James. Welcome to the podcast, Noah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So just for the listeners, before we get started, I obviously know who you are and chat to you a little bit, but how old are you and whereabouts are you from?
I'm 16 and I'm from Pearcedale, so down in Victoria, and yeah, I'm in 250s and 125s, the Aussies, but also in MX3 at the Nationals.
Yeah, you have a pretty busy schedule. So we'll start off with a little bit of talk about Horsham. I believe you got your first ever podium in the 250 A grade class. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep. So tell me a little bit about your weekend. You obviously cut down to just the two motos on the Saturday. But yeah, how was the track and the weekend for you?
It was a pretty happy weekend. I finally showed up on race day and rode how I can in practice, which I've always kind of struggled with, but yeah, it happened, which was good. It was a pretty consistent day, which is real good for me. I didn't get the best starts, but just that first lap intensity was there, so that was good. Yeah, the track was good. I was pretty happy with how everything went. Yeah, I was just in that second position all day in qualifying in the two motos.
Yeah.
But yeah.
In terms of the track, like I think that's probably the best Horsham I've seen like early in the day. It's always been pretty snotty when I've been there sort of in the morning off the start, and it seemed to be pretty tacky and, yeah, like drier than I've seen it before. How was the track? Have you been to Horsham before, and how was the actual track and how it formed up, and what were your thoughts about the track in general?
Yeah, I've only been there twice, and once was like a long time ago in 85 small wheel, and then the Pro MX I had there more recently. And yeah, it was like in practice, it wasn't like how at some tracks they get it sloppy in practice, so it gets real ruddy by Moto 2 or the end of round 1. It was like, yeah, a little bit dry in practice, but it formed up real well. It wasn't too rough. The ruts were there. I mean, they did have that trouble with like a couple of jumps that held up in practice, but it was just extra laps.
Yeah.
Got the track a little bit more rougher, which is good for a junior because there's not much on during the day.
Do you prefer it when the tracks get a bit rougher, or do you like sort of a fast, smooth track?
Yeah, I'm a bit more of a technical rider, so I like it when it gets a bit rougher. It separates those people that, can hold it on wide around the outsides and stuff like that, which I'm not too good in that area. So yeah, when it gets a bit rougher, I enjoy it a bit more.
We'll talk a little bit about Rosebud, but that's sort of where you grew up. So I know you're pretty comfortable in the sand. How do you go when it comes to a hardback track like Horsham?
Well, I think it's like a couple of years back, it was like affected me a bit more, but now I guess for the people where they're real good on hardpack and then they got to learn sand, it's like it's a bit harder for them. But sand being kind of the harder skill to have, being a sand rider, I think the hardpack don't really.
It doesn't
like,
worry you too much?
Nah, it doesn't worry me too much. yeah, it's just a bit easier, if anything.
Yeah.
Just got to hold on a bit more.
Yeah, with the 250A grade class, I think this year, you've been racing that class now, I think for 2 years, is that right?
Yeah, because I missed out on last year
Yep.
racing. Yeah,
Oh,
just 2 years.
yeah, we'll cover that. But a few of the riders that you have battled with in previous years have sort of stepped up this year. So has the dynamic in that class changed in the time that you've been in there? And like, is it easier now or harder, or has the competition just changed?
I think like with Joe being in that class and how it was in 2 years back, and he was like a front runner, and still up there now. Like the top of the field is pretty tough still, and there is lots of people from other states coming down and racing it. I think it is a pretty stacked class. So yeah, that's a healthy class, which is real good.
Yeah, you've got Dylan Grumble and Ollie Burkett. I think they're sitting around you in the championship, but I believe you're currently sitting second overall. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's second by like a point, or maybe third by a point. Like it's real close between second or third. Yeah, not much,
Coming
but
into
yeah, in a good spot.
coming into the season, is that where you sort of thought you would be?
Well, for this season, after last year with my injury, we kind of had no expectations, which I think helps me a lot with less nerves and things like that. So pretty much we just do a few races, see where I end up, because we had no clue where my speed is now,
Yeah,
and just on race day. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked with where I am. Can't really complain.
for
I've
sure.
never been in that spot for the Vic titles anyway. So yeah,
Uh,
it's good.
That's so cool, man. That's so cool. Well, speaking of the Vic titles, like moving on from Horsham, we also had a senior Vic on the weekend out at Rosebud, which is sort of your home stomping ground, and you raced MX3 there. For me, I'm not a sand rider, and sand looks like absolute hell, and pretty much that's how that track formed up. But yeah, for someone that loves the sand and is proficient in it, tell me about your weekend at Rosebud.
Yeah, Rosebud was, oh, the track was insane. It was the coolest Vic track I've seen. Like, I hope they get that every year from now on. Like, yeah, it was real cool. My racing was like, my result wasn't too bad. I got fifth, and I was just too many mistakes during the races. Just my speed wasn't really there, just from mistakes. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Pretty happy with it.
It's funny,
It was a fun one.
everyone I've spoken to sort of says that they made too many mistakes, but I think, and this isn't normal, like I've never been to another event like this. I reckon pretty much every rider that I photographed, I've got a photo of them on the ground at Rosebud, so I think everyone made a lot of mistakes and had a few tip overs over the weekend.
Yeah, yeah. It was a bit like that. Like just looking on Instagram, and it's like everyone's got one where it's the heads down in the sand. And yeah,
Doing the ostrich impression, yeah, for sure.
yeah, plenty of yellow flags out. But yeah, just those little tip overs, not good.
With the way the track formed up on the weekend, like I spoke to a few of the other local guys, and they sort of said that because the VIX has, other riders that aren't local to Rosebud and are proficient at hard pack tracks and don't ride a lot of sand, the track formed up a bit differently. As someone that sort of rides Rosebud a lot, how was it? Like, how did the track form up in your opinion?
I think it's hard to say really with like the new layout that they got there, because it's real tight and like shorter straights, so you're really hard on the throttle a lot. So I don't think anyone really could like say how the track was going to form, because that the Sandmasters that they had there early on in the year, it was like just pouring rain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it had like big rollers, and because there was no little bikes on the track, there was none of that chop, like that those little choppy bumps,
Yes.
which was nice. But yeah, it was definitely different with how tight the track is now. Like the corners didn't have many bumps, but then coming out of them, they were rough and things like that.
Yeah, I think there was a lot more stop starting than we've seen previously in the former layout, because it was a lot faster, had a lot longer straights. Do you sort of prefer the current layout, or did you like the older layout better?
To be honest, that old layout was a bit scary. Like a couple of those back straights where you jump down like wide open, it was a bit it was a bit hairy. So I've been waiting for something different, and I'm pretty happy with what we got. It's a bit slower.
Yeah, bit more
Yeah,
technical, so right up your alley.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and how's the Senior Vics Championship going for you? I think you're currently sitting 4th overall in MX3, which is pretty damn impressive. Like, there's a lot of fast riders in that championship.
I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, it's in that top 4 for Darwin too, so that's important. But yeah, I'm happy with how the championship's going. I've had a couple of bad races so far in the championship, so I'm pretty surprised that I'm sitting in that 4th spot. So can't complain really.
No, consistency is the key, I think. As far as the other
Yeah.
championships, or as far as the championship goes, and I guess you can bring in the Junior Vics to this as well, because you race a lot of the same sort of riders across, 250 A grade as well as MX3. Do you have anyone that you find yourself battling with consistently, like in those championships?
Yeah, I think like MX3 class, they've got like the top 3, which are pretty consistent. There is a few that are coming into state. And then like in the 250A, there's like Ollie Burkett and Joe, they're at the front, and it's kind of, they're a bit separated to the field. So then it's like me and Dylan have had some good battles, like around that bottom step of the podium, where it's always a bit kind of who gets that next step
Yeah.
in 250A.
Yeah, so
But yeah,
Dylan's been on the Stark this year, which is it's a little bit of a different, different, I guess, dynamic compared to the petrol bikes. What's it like racing against him? Like, you've had some great battles, and I know you ride the Stark for training as well. But what's it like racing against a Stark out there?
it's definitely interesting. One of my first like few races back at Colac at the Junior Vics, with the Stark, you don't know when they're behind you because all you can hear is your bike, and it just cancels out the fan noise from their bike.
Yeah,
And yeah, you just don't know when they're there. And I had a moment, and we're going into this corner, and out of nowhere, I see in the corner of my eye to the left was I see a red fender pop out of nowhere, and he's right next to me, all of this like out of nowhere, and I just turned right in a left hand corner and just crashed because I got that scared. It was like, oh yeah, it frightened me.
yeah, it just come out of
But
nowhere.
yeah, so it's a bit tricky like that, but yeah,
Is
I
it is
mean
it
anyone can ride them, so
is it hard to defend against? Like, obviously with a petrol bike, there's a couple of different aspects there. One, you can hear where they're coming, and two, with a petrol bike, you know what lines they're going to take. Like with a Stark, I feel like the riders sometimes take slightly different lines. Like, is it hard to defend against the Stark?
yeah, because you can't really hear like if they're what side they're on and stuff. Like if you need to go and block on the outside, like you can hear that they're holding on for longer down the straight, and you're like, oh, they're going outside, I better block. Well, you can't tell now, so yeah, you kind of got to guess and just focus on yourself and just try ride as fast as you can to get away from them, pretty much.
Yeah, like I said, you ride a Stark for training. Would you ever consider taking it to the racetrack?
Probably not. I just ride it at home because it's all I can at the council. So just for noise reasons, I ride the Stark, but I probably wouldn't ride it on actual tracks. Just yeah, I'll stick to what I know pretty
Yeah,
much. What I've known for the most.
and unfortunately,
Yeah.
like we've seen with Dylan, he's had a couple of issues with his, both with the battery life and just being able to survive, I guess, an elite level track and race format.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
Yeah.
it'd be great to see them sort of develop that bike a little bit further so they can be more competitive. And I don't know. I'm still not sure whether I like the integration of the electric bikes and the petrol bikes, or whether they should have their own class. As someone that rides both, like, do you like having that mix, or would you prefer sort of to see two separate classes?
If they had enough people on the Starks and like it could make a full class, it would be cool to like have them have their own race so that there isn't like all these little advantages that there is. But I guess, yeah, like there is a downside to the Stark too. not being able to last the whole race or having an electrical problem with water. Yeah, like I've experienced that with the buttons on mine. Water gets underneath and yeah, it can mess with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably separate them if you could.
Yeah,
Like
of
if you got
course.
to choose. Yeah.
I think that's if it keeps going, that's probably how the future is going to be. We're going to see more of them rather than less. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Definitely.
it's going to change sort of the racing and the classes a little bit if we start seeing more and more Starks out there.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. You've also been racing Pro MX this year. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Pro MX has been it's been a good learning year. As in my last year of juniors, I'll still have 2 more years after this year. So just get the most out of just learning and seeing what I can improve on for the next 2 years when it like really matters most. It's been good so far. I haven't scored points yet though, and that was my goal, that I wanted to score points this year. Gone close. I got 21st in a moto at Appen, but yeah,
So close you
just
can
not
smell it.
there
Yeah.
yet. Yeah.
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 In,
Yeah.
in terms of scoring points, like I think that you're definitely, well within that top 20 ability. Why do you think you haven't sort of broken into that points yet? Has it just been, like you mentioned earlier, just about turning up on race day?
Yeah, I think it does have to do with that. Like, I just got to limit those nerves and really just focus on myself and just ride like I know I can. That's all it is, and just get a good start and not drop it. Like in the field, like in the mid pack to a little bit back. Like lots of people drop it, and I mean I'm one of them, and I just got to be consistent and put a solid moto in, like for the full moto. Just each lap, just tick over and just have that speed.
Yeah. Do you get pretty nervous on race day?
I think I used to get it real bad, but I have been improving on it. Yeah, like the nerves are there. It only affects how I ride, like how I think about my riding. Like I might switch off in the middle of the moto, and it does affect me, but it has been getting better, thankfully.
Yeah. Well, you obviously love motocross, but do you would it be safe to say that you enjoy race day still?
Yeah, I definitely do. I do have fun racing, especially when you're around your mates racing. It's the fun part. But yeah, I've always enjoyed it,
That's
even with the injuries that come sometimes.
Yeah, and I definitely want to ask you about that. But just before we get to that, you mentioned MXGP earlier. You're currently sitting in a position where you might qualify to go to MXGP and represent Victoria, sitting fourth in the MX3 Championship for the Senior Vics. If you got an invite, is that something that you would consider doing?
I definitely love to do it. It definitely does seem really cool. I didn't get to do it last year, but yeah, just from watching it, I think that's an awesome experience. Just being on that, well, it's a world class stage. I'd definitely love to do it. It's in a bit of a weird spot with the junior Aussies being the next week. So I guess you'd have to sacrifice your lead up to the Aussies, as you'd got to get down from Darwin to Shepparton. So that's a little bit of a downside. But yeah, other than that, it definitely seems cool, and I've been thinking about it.
Yeah,
If I could do it,
yeah,
be really excited to.
that definitely makes it difficult this year with. I mean, there's so much happening in a very short space of time there that's very different. You've got MXGP, and then you've got to get back from Darwin, potentially race AJMX for a week, and then the weekend after AJMX, you've got the start of Supercross. So for riders that sort of potentially could race all three, I think they're going to have to pick which ones that they prefer or are more focused on. Are you planning to do AJMX this year?
Yeah, definitely. For my last one, pretty excited.
Yeah.
Go all out, and yeah, it's good in Shepparton. I haven't really raced in Shepparton much. I've raced there twice, but it's local. Get some family there, and it should be good fun.
Yeah, for sure. It's such a good event, and yeah, being your last year in the juniors, I think you could definitely make an impact. What classes would you be racing?
I'd definitely be in 250s. And I'm not sure about 125s yet. If the extra track time is always good on the 125, just because there's a lot of sitting around during the week there, and just being able to know what's happening with the track is good.
Yeah.
But it's also like if you want to focus on one class and put it all into that one, save your energy, that's also a good reason to just do 250s. So yeah, it's still deciding.
I wanted to ask you, how come you haven't been riding the 125 this year?
I've just been focusing on the 250. I've got the 125. It's in the shed, but yeah, I've just been focused on that because yeah, at the nationals you do 250s. There's not many races on the 125 to do.
Yeah. Well, you've mentioned it a couple of times already, and it was definitely something that I wanted to ask you about. But yeah, you missed most of last year with an injury. It happened early in the year, I think, just before the first round of Pro MX. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I sure did. I had a pretty big one in March, just yeah, a few weeks before Promex. I was just I was I had a ride day at Wonthaggi, and I just come around a corner, one of the big sweepers there, and just got a weird kick and over the bars. I just dived into the ground, and yeah, I ended up having a 6 level spinal fusion, and yeah, I shattered my T5 vertebrae and broke my T4 and 6. So I did a pretty good job of it. Yeah.
I spoke to your dad after that, and he said you actually you were off the track. You were standing at the fence and thinking about going out for the next moto out there before
Yeah.
he decided to actually take you to the hospital. So yeah, was it a big crash, and did you know at the time that you'd broken something? Obviously not, I would suggest.
Uh, like every time that I've had an injury, I just hope that uh, that nothing's wrong. It's just me. But yeah, I got up and I was like, yeah, I was just real winded, so I hopped in the buggy. We went back to the trailer, and nothing seemed too bad. And then I went up to the fence and I was watching the next session, and then that's when the adrenaline started to go away, and
Yeah.
my back started to like not collapse, but it like really hunch over, and it was like hard to straighten it. And I was like, oh, this isn't right. So I walked back to the trailer, and then me and Dad were just yeah, we decided we are gonna go down to Wonthaggi Hospital and yeah, get checked up.
Oh, I'm glad you did, because I think that could have gone pretty bad if you didn't. It's a big injury. Obviously, you required surgery. Like, what was that whole thing like? Was it scary?
Yeah, so once we got to Wonthaggi Hospital, we didn't like. There's always like a fair few spinal like people just taking precautions, and then it's all good, nothing's wrong. So we're just hoping for that. And then I was laying there, and then the lady comes back after I got all my scans, and then she was like, "This is really serious. Don't let him move." And oh, the room just went to silence. We were not prepared for that.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so then I went to the Royal Children's, and once I got there, I knew I was in the right hands. So like my nerves, like obviously I was real nervous, but once I got there, they would roll me over and stuff. I knew that they knew what they were doing, so I felt better there. And yeah, it was a bit of a process. They gave me a brace from my waist all the way up to my head, just to keep me still, and that lasted a few weeks, and then got scans again, and it turned out it wasn't helping. It's
Yeah.
actually getting worse. Yeah, like the vertebrae were starting to get closer to the spine, the ones that were broken. Once that happened, we found out that I needed surgery, which we didn't. We're just hoping that that wasn't the case, because no one wants metal in their back.
Yeah. So,
But
so initially
yeah,
they weren't going to do surgery. They just were hoping you would sort of heal up naturally.
yeah, yeah. They try to steer clear from surgery, just with the dangers that it brings with like later on in life. But yeah, like sometimes it does work with the brace, but mine being in the thoracic spot, the T456. It's in the middle of your back, so it's hard to really keep the middle of your back still.
Yeah.
So the brace, it didn't do much. It just started to get worse over time.
And so what was the recovery from the surgery like, from post-op to getting back on a bike? How long did that take, and how mobile were you in that time, and what was the pain like?
Well, straight away from surgery, it was a pretty big one. They ended up going bigger than they thought. I ended up getting a 6 level when it was only 3 vertebrae that they thought were broken. So that was, yeah, a bit of a surprise straight away. But then after that, it was pretty funny. Like, it was the morning after surgery, and I looked on the charts when we got to that hospital for surgery, and it said 4 to 5 days, like getting out of bed and start walking. And I was like, to Dad, I'm going to beat that. And that was before the surgery. And the next morning, the physio comes in and she's starting to teach me how to roll over. And I'm like, I've been in pain all night. I've been rolling over. Like, this is all good. Do you reckon I could do a bit more? So then I sat up, and then she was like, well, do you want to stand up? I did that. And then she's like, all right, do you want to try walking? And I did that. And then there was a set of stairs, and I walked up these stairs, then I was walking down, and all the nurses, they come running out, and they're like, what is he doing? What is he doing? He's meant to be in bed. Because they didn't expect me to be out of bed.
Yep.
And yeah, I really, I just wanted to improve straight away. I wanted to get, all I was thinking about was getting on my bike. So I was gonna
Can I ride?
I was gonna do
Can I go
whatever
up these
could.
stairs? Can I ride my
Yeah.
motorbike now?
Yeah. It was just like, what's next? What's next? I need to get back to 100%. So, yeah, the start was, once I was at home, it was a bit, not much going on, just at home a lot. And then after a few months, 2 weeks after surgery, I was back in the gym and at JP Sports Physio, just doing a lot of rehab and like starting to get my nerves in my back, because get that feeling back on the surface of my skin. Yeah, just doing a lot of rehab. And then after a bit, it was like around 9 months, I started to ride again, just at home on the Stark. Nothing too crazy, just on like a grass track, which was the safest for me,
Yeah.
because obviously that was a really important thing after what I'd just been through. Just slowly improving, and yeah, back to where I am now.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's been a big road. John Parks is a fantastic physio, so definitely a really good advocate to have in your corner when you're going through that sort of recovery. Did they sort of have to rein you back a little bit? It sounds like you were pretty keen to get back into doing just about everything from gym to riding. Did your parents and John have to sort of rein you back a little bit?
I think, well, John was really helpful. He was the one that, was helping me out the most. Like, oh, how much he knows is just crazy. And each like time we'd go in and see the surgeon, it would be like he would be surprised with where I'm at already. But yeah, I think just the motivation after that, it just was real high, and I just wanted to get back to what I was doing, because I'd go to the races and watch, but just from watching, it was like, this is where I need to be. So what can I do to get here?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So there was never a thought in your mind that, maybe motorbikes weren't going to be in your future?
Straight away, after I crashed, it was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, this is real scary. But then once we spent a bit of time at Royal Children's, we figured out that people were getting paralyzed from whatever. Like, there was someone there the surgeon told us about, and he was working on a roof and he fell off, and then the aircon came down and crushed him, and then he's paralyzed. Or a lady slipped over in the shower and she was paralyzed, and it was like, I realized it can happen from anything. Like, your life can change in a second. Like, there's nothing really you can do to like change it. Like, I'm not gonna just do no sports at all. Like,
Wrap
if I
yourself up in
can't do
cotton wool.
motorbikes, what can I do?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I totally
So,
agree with that. I mean, my wife doesn't really like motorbikes. She was involved in a motorbike accident when she was really young, and so that's
yeah.
put her off them. But, I think I've always been of the mindset that you just got to do what you love. And, I mean, as long as you understand and accept those risks, it's sort of what you got to do. But, for you, you've actually you've faced some of those risks head on. So as far as your racing goes now, does that impact you, and does it impact your mobility and like the way that you ride the bike?
Now it doesn't. When I first started riding again, after riding and I'd come in, I'd have a bit of a sore lower back because the pressure from the rods, it all goes to the vertebrae below and above. So I'd get like a sore lower back, but now I don't even think about it. My first ride back at Hastings, I had a crash in midair and it was like a huge crash and it scared the hell out of me and I was fine. So ever since I had that crash, my confidence is like, oh, well, I'm fine. There's nothing to be scared of. It's just like before I had my injury,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I know
Yeah.
a friend of mine sort of had I think he's got a 4 vertebrae fusion, and he asked about that, and they basically said, well, you're in the same position, like he rides now and races now, and they said, you're in the same position you were before. Like the type of
Yeah.
accident that you're going to have a spinal injury now is the same as that you would have had before. So basically, that's the way it works. So the risk isn't massively increased or anything like that when you come back, especially with the technology that they have now to fix you up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the surgeon mentioned to me. And after I heard that, it was like, oh, well, this isn't actually all that bad because, well, the rods are stronger than your bones, so it'll just break below or above. But he said if that happens, it was going to break anyway. So
Yep.
yeah, it's the same pretty much.
Yeah. Well, you've been racing for quite some time. How did you get started in the sport? I know your dad races or used to race, still gets his leg over a bike every now and then. But how did you get started in the sport? Was that through your dad?
Yeah, that was through my dad. He started racing like just before I was born, and he said I could choose between go-karts or motorbikes, and I chose motorbikes, and yeah, I've loved it ever since. I've been riding since I was 3, so yeah,
Yeah.
been loving it.
What about motocross? Is it that you love it? It's funny because my dad gave me the same option when I was young, was go-karts or dirt bikes, and once I got the taste of dirt bikes, that was all I wanted to do, even though I'm probably better in a go-kart. But for you, you can rip around on a dirt bike. So what is it about the sport that you love?
Oh, I just love how, well, obviously racing. I'm very competitive, but yeah, the track's changing every single lap. It's something about motorbikes that, the adrenaline rush. I just love it. I guess, yeah. Go-karts was a bit boring for me. Like the track's the same every single lap.
You
I don't know.
chasing tenths of a second on a track that doesn't
Yeah,
change. Yep.
yeah, exactly.
Like when you look back at the end of your career, and let's hope that that's sort of when you're approaching your maybe 40 years old, but when you look back at your motocross career, what for you would be a success when you look back on it?
I feel like, well, I've got goals and I do want to achieve them. Like, I hope someday I can ride for a factory team and like make it my job. I want to be able to make money from motorbikes, which is what I love. So if I can achieve that, I'll be stoked. Obviously, it's a bit hard to make that your only income for you, what you do when you're in Australia. But yeah, if I can just hopefully reach that goal of what I've got, and I'm looking back at that, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, I know last year, well, I should say the year before, when you were racing, you had a bit of help from Raceline. What was that like, being part of the Raceline Junior Motocross team?
I remember my first race, but I was with them, and it was so cool. Like they put me right next to the truck in our tent, and yeah, just from not really knowing many of the pros to then having them all in my tent, leaning up on my bike. We've got Todd Waters talking to me. It was definitely really cool. And yeah, they're a great team. It's like they're just one big family. And they've been really helpful for me.
I know you're still running the Raceline colours and graphics on your bike. Do you still stay in touch with those guys? Is that sort of something that you're hoping to rekindle?
Yeah, I definitely do really want to race for them again. It was just with this year, just not having any expectations and trying to race with no pressure because that's when I race best and which is safest. We just thought that maybe I'd not be not be too high up there in their team and just see what I can do, see how I ride, how I come back, and yeah, if I go real well this year, hopefully I can be back with them properly again.
Just focus entirely on yourself, and I think that's the right way to go about it. I think when you're coming back from a big injury and you're only young, you've got your whole career ahead of you. I see a lot of young riders putting heaps of pressure, or even their parents, or sponsors putting heaps of pressure on them. And sometimes that's, in my opinion anyway, not the best way to go. I think what you're doing is fantastic.
Definitely, pressure can be good for performance, but also it can be a negative. It just depends how you perform under pressure. And yeah, for something that I was coming back and just try have fun this year, pressure's not really what's the best for me.
So before I let you go then, who does help you get to the races? Do you have any sponsors, or is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd definitely like to thank my dad and Alicia. Just my family's really been behind me and letting me do what I love again, which is motorbikes. And just Fox and Raceline, they've been helping me out, and T-Dub and Peninsula E-Bikes. And JP Sports is a big one. If it wasn't for him, I'd definitely not be where I am. And and TJ Pool Construction. I've got lots of people behind me, and it's definitely really nice to think about.
That's awesome, man. And it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. It's gone a lot longer than these interviews normally do, but you speak really well, and you've got a really great story. So I can't wait to see what the next chapter is and to see you finish out this year.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Definitely try to put my best foot forward and see what comes out of this.
No, fantastic. Well, we'll see you at the next round, and look forward to catching up.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of this episode. If you like these shows, you know the drill. Please like and subscribe and share to your stories so we can keep growing the sport. Thanks to the riders that came on for a chat, and a massive thanks to Kenny Watts for calling in earlier and coming on to co-host, as well as Danacon Glass and Aluminium Windows for bringing you this episode. And to our partners here at Mental4Moto, Fastline Suspension, Southeast Pools, Iro Helmets, Wolf Building Compliance, Ultimate Toy Haulers, and the June sponsor of the Mental4Moto Motocross and Supercross wall calendars, Thrill Therapy. And most of all, as always, thanks to you guys for listening. On behalf of Mental4Moto, I've been your host, Pete Wolf. Until next time, see ya.